the AI-powered C-suite, from hype to hyper-growth. This session brings together thought leaders from across technology, AI, SaaS, robotics, finance, healthcare, and consulting. Please welcome our moderator and esteemed panelists. I will first start with our moderator, Dr. Malik Dzirlo, and a few lines about Dr. Malik Dzirlo. Please bear with me. He is the chairman of American Keystone Equities Group, senior partner of U+, MIBIT, Goldeimer, CEO Clubs Network Worldwide member. Dr. Malik Dzirlo is a global executive and strategist with over 25 years of leadership across Fortune 100 corporations, governments, and global innovators. A former senior partner at McKinsey, Deloitte, PwC, and Booz Allen, he's a recognized authority in AI, blockchain, and real-world asset tokenization, advising top firms including Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Apple, and Google. That's a lot in your portfolio. He holds 2 doctorates and 4 master's degrees from MIT, Harvard, Columbia, and Johns Hopkins, and is widely regarded as a pioneer redefining global governance and digital transformation. A round of applause, please, for our moderator for this session. Welcome on stage. Following Dr. Malik Dzirlo, we have Mr. Igor Ilievski, Mr. Sanjay Sundaramoorthy, His Excellency Maher Al-Kaabi, Mr. Shekhar Natarajan, Mr. Farrukh Nizami. Please allow me a few words to introduce them while they join the stage as part of the panel discussion. Igor Ilievski is a visionary entrepreneur and co-founder of Aminex, a global AI-driven e-commerce technology company. Beginning his journey in 2002 from his grandfather's basement in Macedonia, Igor pioneered online art sales and later founded MK Maher, generating over $500 million in client revenue. He also launched JMD Digital, a fractional CMO agency, before focusing on Aminex, where he leads AI, enhanced personalization, automation, and profitability for online brands worldwide. His work emphasizes trust-driven growth, operational efficiency, and scalable digital systems. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Igor Ilievski. Welcome on the stage. Sanjay Sundaramoorthy, CTO and Director of IT Enterprise Architecture, Head of GenAI and Agentic AI. Sanjay Sundaramoorthy is a visionary technology leader with over 20 years of experience driving enterprise AI, sovereign cloud, and digital transformation in regulated industries. As CTO and Director of IT Enterprise Architecture, he leads modernization across the DACH region, governing multi-cloud platforms with embedded DevSecOps and cybersecurity. Forgive me for my pronunciations, because I would like to give the panelists enough time to discuss their topic. As head of GenAI and Agentic AI, he operationalizes autonomous, policy-aware AI systems that meet DORA, GDPR, and NIS2 standards, delivering secure, compliant, and scalable innovation that translates directly into measurable enterprise value. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Sanjay Sundaramoorthy. Welcome on stage. His Excellency Maher Al-Kaabi, visionary leader, banker, and co-founder, Blink. His Excellency Maher Al-Kaabi is a seasoned banker and visionary leader with over 30 years of experience spanning banking, digital innovation, and family business advisory. He has held senior roles in Citigroup, Dubai Bank, and Emirates NBT, leading Islamic banking, risk management, and digital transformation initiatives. A co-founder of Blink, an advisor to multiple boards, including UAE Ministry of Economy, Serkal Group, and Global Sustainability Ventures, he champions circular economy, renewable energy, next-gen entrepreneurship, and beyond. Currently pursuing a doctorate in AI and sustainability, Maher is a sought-after keynote speaker, executive coach, and pioneer in innovation-driven business leadership. A round of applause, please, for His Excellency Maher Al-Kaabi. Welcome on stage. Farrukh Nizami, CEO, CTTC Academy, IT and cybersecurity expert. Farrukh Nizami is a seasoned IT and cybersecurity professional with 23 years of experience in networking, cloud computing, and technology education. As CEO of CTTC Academy, he has trained over 25,000 students, many now employed by multinational companies, and developed Pakistan's top Cisco Academy and first BS Technology program in artificial intelligence. Formerly Vice President of Microsoft Division at SigmaNet, he achieved record growth and multiple partner recognitions. Farrukh is an authorized instructor for CCNA, CCNP, and IT Essentials courses and serves on the executive committee of Aligarh Institute of Technology and SSUET Karachi. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Farrukh Nizami. Shekhar Natarajan, founder and CEO, Orchestro.AI, business technologist, AI pragmatist, people-first leader. Shekhar Natarajan, born in Hyderabad, overcame extreme adversity to become a global AI leader. Founder and CEO of Orchestro.AI, he builds angelic intelligence that prioritizes humans as the real value. With 207 plus patents in AI, autonomous systems, and predictive technologies across Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Walmart, Disney, and Target. Known for practical dignity-first AI solutions, he redirects resources for impact and efficiency. A Harvard, Georgia Tech, IESE, and MIT alumnus, Shekhar has earned the Medallion Award and Signature Awards Global Impact recognition, proving that treating people as unicorns drives smarter, ethical technology, and business outcomes. So we are ready to kick off this first panel, and audience, stay tuned. Once again, mobile phones on silent mode. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you to our first panel today. And many thanks to Dr. Tariq, Ms. Sarah, the board of International CEO Club. This is one of the most active, prolific clubs I've ever been exposed to. And would like to welcome all of our attendees today at the summit. We hope you'll find something very useful, insightful, that you'll be able to apply and bring to your businesses and enterprises that you are part of. Today we have 5 distinguished leaders who are not only talking about AI, but really driving AI in their respective enterprises. Idea is to discuss topics that will be relevant and practical, and hopefully you will be able, as I said, to find and learn something new that you can apply in your day-to-day job and activities. So, talking about AI, the biggest challenge that many AI leaders often experience is moving from AI pilots that many organizations are working on into full-scale implementations. So what I would like to start as the first question for our panelists, starting with Igor. What do you see as the biggest challenge organizations face today, moving from AI pilots into full-scale implementations?
The biggest challenge that organizations actually see today is mainly trusting AI, understanding how to use AI and how to make it more human. AI is not a tool, it's an intelligence, actual intelligence, where most organizations see it as a tool. And they assign a task, they ask to solve a problem without giving enough information, and then AI can fail or do the task as asked. So the biggest challenge that organizations fail is see AI as actual intelligence that needs to be trained, as all of us, to be teach what do we need to do and how we need to do it.
That's great feedback. Any other panelists want to chime in or add anything to this? Feel free.
Check. Thanks. I mean, that was a well thought through question. I'm doing this for the last 5 to 6 years, implementing AI within large enterprises. I have observed a standard pattern for all the organizations that they have a sense of vision and passion. Like, why do, on the first place, I need AI? So that is the core question, what all the executive leadership, think through. And then it comes to a certain point that, am I looking at optimization of my business process? Is it converting my return of investments? And then how do I enable my people to adopt to these new technologies? So the core challenge of many organizations is they have a huge technical debt. Like someone having a manual process, like KYC validation for financial services, they still have this manual process. They say that, okay, this is how we used to work. The core people who does this process, the processes of a organization, they are not willing to change, or they're not willing to adapt it. So there is a constant fear among the people where it would replace me. So we have to, so the core problem of a leadership is that how do you enable the people to first trust the AI to, so just before trusting it, right? In this audience, how many are of you using ChatGPT in your daily work?
That's surprising. I thought everybody would say yes.
So there is, you see that, right? It's more than, now people are trusting AI solutions, and in the organizations, people are not trusting it. And then what we do is we kind of coach them, mentor them. Hey, AI is not something what you think of. Instead, it augments you to make you more productive at the end of the day. Yeah.
If I may add, Malik, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been working on AI for a very, very long time because AI existed. Actually, if you want to understand the definition of it, it goes back to 1648, by the way. But the actual term has been coined in 1955. So in my previous organization, Citibank, we were building models back in early 2000s for clients, understanding them, what they're going to do, and so forth. The biggest challenge people face today, because in the current arena after the ChatGPT, people are actually taking AI as a technological upgrade, which is adding to what Igor has mentioned. It's actually a paradigm shift. And the biggest fear and challenges there is like culture is not being built yet today. Many companies do not understand the value of AI till now. And you've probably seen the circular spending which is going on between NVIDIA and all the other people giving money to each other. So there's a lot of fear even in the US in terms of hype being there. So culture is not there, and culture actually driven by the board. Second, we're still if you're a large company, the challenge is people are working in silos. So you're not able to connect everybody to understand what we need to do, what is our mission, what's the clarity, and that's the problem. So one of the things we did, I'm trying to get into the solution, is first of all, address the culture from the board. Board need to understand the value of AI, what AI brings. Not an innovation, just a technological upgrade, but properly, definitely changing the entire thing. I call it an economic shift. I just came from a keynote in Austria, and I really left Europe the way I left them in 2008. They've not really progressed in terms when it comes to regulation. And this is something they're talking about it quite often. So luckily, we are in a country which is leading AI. We were the first country to actually appoint an AI minister back in 2017, when people did not even talk about AI at that point of time. So culture is the biggest things, and then understanding capability of AI is the second thing. But there's so many other reasons out there, but these are the two reasons to start with.
That's brilliant. Thank you. So really impacting the minds and the culture, change management, and really transforming the way how the long-term vision is seen, having a long-term vision in mind rather than short-term quick wins. Application of ChatGPT, for example, because application of AI is much bigger than using ChatGPT. It's really transforming the mindset. Now, often people think AI will save, will increase efficiencies. Primarily, boards have particular KPIs they want to achieve. So, Mr. Shekhar, can you share some of the insights that you've seen from your projects on real efficiencies versus planned efficiencies? How is it really seen in reality from original plans that are developed in the boardrooms versus application of practical examples of AI and practical efficiencies organizations are seeing today?
Well, I agree with His Highness here. AI has been around us for a very so it's been around for a long time, and for the last 25 years of my life, working for Coke, PepsiCo, Walmart, Walt Disney, these are all like amazing companies. I was counting pennies, and I was not counting humans. And let me tell you what bothers me about that philosophy. If I'm Walmart and if I'm moving 2 million packages, in order that I get a 3-second efficiency, I would lay off 555 people. Okay? So, but I come from slums in India where I didn't have access to education, I didn't have access to medical care, and my mother had to pawn her wedding ring so I could have education. So for the last 25 years of my life, I coded for cost, for time, but never a soul. That is the fundamental problem I see in the future, where I feel that we're going to be in a hurry to build technology, deploy it. Of course, like the boards are going to be like okay because they're going to see efficiencies and they're going to say like it's profitable for the business. Of course, like the leaders are going to come together. Of course, the technology is going to be there. But the real question is, who are we really building this technology for? Are we trying to build this to lift humans? Are we trying to eliminate humans? Do we think human as a bug in a perfect system? And that's the real realization I had 5 years ago when I started this new company. And it is all about elevating what good humans do. Because when I came to the United States, I had $34 in my pocket. People say I'm hardworking, I don't believe that. People say I'm lucky, I don't believe that. But angels showed up in my life. They saw something that I didn't see in myself. And that is what is worth elevating. Those moments of masterpiece, that someone sees beyond what you see yourself, that is going to change the world. And I think like in the hurry to build technology, we are just like running and like putting money and like, building data centers and finding how to compute. The real question is, how do we slow down a little bit, pause, and reflect on what we're trying to build? And so there are many applications. There are many beautiful applications of AI. Like whether it's healthcare, but what are we training the data on? Reddit data? Rant in Twitter? Is that the real, purest form of data? And so there are problems that could be solved, sustainability problems, healthcare problems, logistics problems. But we are so fascinated about writing a poem. And that's not what AI is all about. Because AI existed with us. Generative AI has taken off in the last 3 years. And people confuse themselves with generative AI and AI.
That's a great point. Sometimes people get focused on particular tangible results, and they lose the big picture impact. Rather than saving a few hundred or a few thousand labor hours, they lose the big impact on what actually the goal or mission of the organization is.
3 seconds meant nothing in accelerating a package, but it impacted 555 people's livelihood. Now, extrapolate for everything where AI can make an impact.
So long-term strategy is the key. We also have Mr. Farrukh joining us from United States, spent his career there, and talking about the long-term vision and impact in private sector and public. You've spent a career in both. How do you see U.S. public sector in particular applying AI today successfully, and balancing that with the risks of AI, keeping in mind that often public sector, government institutions, etc., are always more risk-averse than commercial institutions. How do you see U.S. actually successfully applying AI in the public sector?
Okay. I am from training industry, so I can just give the example. So our main thing with AI was that I made AI as part of my life and into the training organization. So one thing I saw was that whatever we were training, it was not matching with the skills which the companies require. So what we did was we built some kind of a skill radar, and we used different tools. So one of the things was like in Dubai, there are 744 jobs for Microsoft Azure. So what we did was we combined all those job descriptions and all the projects which are coming in, and then you come up with your curriculum. So curriculum, we were teaching always the same curriculum year over after year, but we are not modifying that curriculum. So we use different tools, So I'll just talk about the real tool. Because when we talk about AI, we always say ChatGPT, but tools will go away. The concept will remain there. So I'll just talk about different tools. So one of the tools I used was Perplexity, because Perplexity has a special feature of social media like Reddit. So you see the pains, in Reddit, So you will find out what people were finding difficult when you're teaching the course. So you see the Reddit. Now, if you want to find out about the Twitter, then you go to the Grok, because they have the most data. And then Gemini has most of the data on the Google. So you see different tools. And then we can build up the right curriculum. And the main thing was we were always have a problem with the language. So what now they're doing is, like, if I conduct an online training, Google has a new tool called Opal. So what it takes the input and it creates a structured transcript for that, for the training. And then I take it to the Notebook LM. So it has, Notebook LM doesn't connect to internet. So it actually takes your tool and it puts all the information there. Now the Notebook LM can create from that transcript a 5-minute video in 50 languages. So now you're training, even I conduct in English, it can take in Japanese, it can take in Urdu, it can take in any language in the world. It will create a 5-minute, because the attention span is very short. So most of the online training, we're moving into 5-minute shorts. And Google can make audio podcast, the video podcast for 5 minutes. And they're increasing exponential speed. Like Google is coming up a notebook every day, a new feature. Like they came up with infographic yesterday. So it's like a very powerful tool. So we're just incorporating in whatever we learned in so many years. We are finding the training industry is completely transforming into the new generation. And 2026 will be the year whoever will join the bandwagon will succeed, and whoever does not will remain behind. So that's my...
Those are great insights. And Mr. Farrukh mentioned a number of different AI tools and applications specifically in training and transforming workforce, making them more efficient with the application of AI tools. Now, when it comes to the selection of tools, I would like to get 30 seconds from each panelist. We have a number of CEOs, CTOs, CIOs in the room. What lessons learned or feedback you can give them when it comes to how do you start actually selecting the right AI tools for your organization? everyone is in different industries, from energy, healthcare, banking, etc. But what are some common things that everyone can kind of think about as they undertake this journey, moving beyond ChatGPT? There are hundreds and hundreds of other tools. What are key tips or advice or lessons learned you can give to the audience on selecting the right AI tools for the enterprise? So we can start with Igor, and everyone, if you can just spend 30 seconds sharing lessons learned. Thank you.
Yeah. So before you actually go into selecting the right tool, you need to understand the task. You need to understand the task that you want this AI to accomplish. And once you understand the task, you need then to evaluate if this task can be done by ChatGPT version 3.5, 4.0, 03 mini, or you can go Anthropic, or you can go Gemini, and so on and so forth. So the first step is understand the task and what do you want the AI to accomplish. Does the AI needs to have classification power? Does the AI needs to have reasoning power, or it needs to have like ChatGPT-5 thinking power? So based on this, you then go into evaluation. That will be the second step. Evaluate the response of each AI model and compare the results. That will be those two steps that you're going to do, and then you proceed with fine-tuning the models that you selected. You don't go into fine-tuning before you understand the task and the model you're working with.
Excellent. Sanjay?
That was a very interesting question, because I always, I'm evaluating every day around, because the Agentic and GenAI world is constantly moving, and every week new models, like LLM large models is coming up, and now SLMs are coming, like small language models for a particular task. So the challenge, most of the challenge lies on, I agree with Igor, first the task, what you really need to do. But then, since I come from also a very humble background of, I see cost also, like I wanted to, I do not want, I developed a lot of autonomous cars solutions as well in the past. And then I also have my own small data center at home so that I train my models before I just, it's what I do, what I preach, I'll implement that first. So while doing that, first what I say is, okay, we do the metrics, right? I take a business process, and then first I will ask whether AI will solve that particular business process or not. And then second thing is, you have to benchmark it, right? Like you have your LLMs, you have your, now LLMs is now old technology. Now we are into Agentic AI. That is what we are doing in our, with our customers, and also a couple of governments we are implementing the projects. So I always say that, okay, see, you have a particular task. If you really want to do this particular task, what are the out-of-the-box LLM or Agentic AI solutions you have, right? Which more or less 70 to 80% will match to your existing problem, right? And then comes the second thing is fine-tuning. It's always a costly affair for me, right? So before fine-tuning, we go to prompt engineering, right? There is few shots, long shots, prompt engineering techniques where you could see this. And then third thing is you have to apply the context for that Agentic AI solutions. So that is when you apply for that, and then we put it into practice, not like theoretical. We put that LLM, like we have our own LLM selection model framework. Out of that, we take 5 LLM models or SLMs or Agentic AI to address that problem, measure the KPIs for that particular business process. And then after implementing, we take that, right? We take the KPIs, and then after implementing this LLMs or SLMs and Agentic AI into the business process, we measure the KPIs, right?
Excellent. So to summarize, Igor said, focus on your requirements, know exactly what you want, then that's going to drive tool selection. Sanjay has been talking about keeping end in mind, right? Starting with the end in mind, and then doing a pilot, testing it, fine-tuning it, and moving on to His Highness Maher. What tips or lessons learned you can share with the audience in selecting the right AI tools for the enterprises?
Sure. It depends on the size of the company you are. If you're a large company, you probably have a team already building models themselves. So you probably you will not have that mystery because it's very easy to do. If you don't, and then you have to outsource the work, but before doing that, you've got 5 top LLM models available today. Ask all of them the same question. They'll give you the answer. Trust me on that. So just go into to them, put your feet over there, try to even the prompt that you're trying to do, ask the LLM model to improve your prompt itself. So it will improve it for you, and then put the same prompt across all of them. If you have a team internally, one of the companies I sit on in Switzerland as a board, we have built our own LLM models for matching investors, those who are raising fund. And they were much, much better than actually outsourcing it. So it depends on what you have. But I think before that, it's very important as well, before you go and fix things, make sure that you look at your processes. Seldomly, a lot of people go and jump in digitizing things, a broken process. Go fix the process before you go and seek for help.
That's a great feedback. Fix the process, then automate or the improve process, otherwise lots of waste will happen. Can you share your lessons learned or tips in selecting the right AI tools?
Yeah.
Shekhar.
So, like I'm probably an atypical person here in the group because I'm also building something that does not exist. So we are building virtues into the computational process, right? So the virtue, like, it's not like ethical AI, it's going one step beyond. It's not like putting patchwork and saying like, how do I be like, how do I prevent harm from happening? We are trying to amplify the human good. So what are those human goods? What are those virtues that basically define what it is? And so we are down the process of identifying each of those virtues as an angel or a skill. And so we have to fine-tune those models to be able to achieve that, right? And I also feel that models and infrastructure is going to get commoditized in the future to all the people here on this in this panel that discussing. I think that's going to be the reality. The models are going to keep changing. But what is critical for all of this to work, and this is my understanding and my learning from all of this, is the data integrity and the context awareness. In order for you to have high efficiency and high accuracy and predictability in what the answers are, we need to prepare data first. And that's the most difficult thing, because people don't have that historic context and data. Why did someone get declined when they were applying for a job? Why did insurance take only 0.3 seconds when it never brought compassion into the thinking? So all of this data is actually missing. And ability to first annotate that data, understand, give it context, give it the outcome, that's the missing piece, I feel. And then you can assemble an ensemble of models that will solve these problems. It doesn't need to be generative. It can be pure optimization models. It could be it could be swarm technology, which is coming in the future. It could be any one of those things which would solve the problem, and we become agnostic of it. But I think the preparation, the context awareness is more relevant, I feel.
That's amazing. So to summarize, data quality is the key, right? When you start your AI selection tool, His Highness Maher said, focus on improving the process first, then select the tools. Sanjay said, we need to focus on the end, a goal in mind, then back engineer from there. And Igor said, we start with your requirements, because ChatGPT is not one solution for everything. And Mr. Farrukh, what lessons learned you can share in selecting the right AI tools?
Okay, I use a lot of tools. So I'll start from first is Notebook.LM, because Notebook.LM is grounded in your own knowledge. It doesn't go to internet. So I created a folder called Everyday. So you just take 15 minutes and you tell everything about every day, and in a month it will find all the patterns of your life. And there's a folder called Everything. Just put everything in it, your notes from last 20 years. and it will find the patterns. Some of the companies are shredding the data. Actually, your data is hidden in all the old data, which is. So Notebook LM can create audio and video overviews. Then we have Gemini. So Gemini has all the knowledge from YouTube and from all our Google. But one of the things which it's doing is it can search all your Gmails for last 20 years. And even if you did something wrong, it can blackmail you that I found something in your Gmail. And if you stop me now, then I'll go back and tell everyone that you did a tax fraud in that year. So Gmail it can find, and one of the things is Google has a Docs. So you put everything in Google Docs because it can find everything from the Google Docs, Sheets, and everything. Then Google came up with another thing called Opal. So Opal is a simple, it can generate mini apps. You just define input. You just write a prompt that I want to create a report. It says, just give me the input, and it doesn't give you any coding. It just develop the code. So that's an excellent tool. They're coming up with you can develop mini apps, what we call it mini apps, So it can develop mini apps. Then we have Claude, which can actually generate codes. Because 40 years ago, we didn't have, we have typists who were doing typing. But now everybody is a typist. So everybody will be a programmer, I think in 2026. And the main thing you have to learn, the language is English, to creatively explain everything. So we have this one. The weakest one I will say is Copilot, because it doesn't have its own model. It uses from Gemini, it uses Google's, it uses Anthropic's, and it uses other model. Perplexity is good for current research. If you want to find it, the best tool I found for research is Perplexity. Even though it's a wrapper. See, wrapper is something which is building around some Google and something. So you don't want to do wrapper, but the best wrapper I found is Perplexity.AI. It can do the research. So you take the research and then you move it to Notebook LM. So you have to use actually multiple domain. If someone says that I'm using one tool, that's not correct, because you have to use different tools have different values. So you have to find, so I'll say ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini are the most, or Notebook LM, I find it most powerful.
Most common ones. So you see what we have just...
I think correctly said, but don't limit yourself to them because they're really, really growing. There's so many tools that are coming up as well. And ask the top 5, they will tell you what tool to use, honestly speaking. There are roughly more than 100,000 tools that are available. I mean, like in terms of application and so forth. As the top one, they will tell you what to be used, and you're probably not going to get lost. 90% you'll hit it.
No, that's great. And what we've seen here, actually, everyone slightly has different approach in selecting the tools, and that's the beauty of working in a team. Once you make any decision, everyone has kind of different way to look at things, but the consensus is understand the tools, there's big variety, understand your requirements, start with the end goal in mind, fix the process before you actually automate it, and then you'll be in a good shape. My final question for the panelists, and then we can have 1 or 2 questions from the audience, 30 seconds each. We are at the end of 2025. Where are we going to be? Where do you see businesses, enterprises, governments in 2030, 4 to 5 years from today, when you think of AI? Where are we going to be? How the future going to look like? How do you see that in your mind from today? Starting with Igor.
It's a good question. I see companies and business models totally revolutionized. Everything we know, how we work, how we operate, changed at least 80%. Specifically, processes and operations that can be automated. Data entry, marketing, analysis, everything that involves data is going to be fully automated. And how that's going to change businesses and companies, we can only just imagine, but I can say this, lots of jobs will be lost, but a lot of new jobs will be born. 20 years ago, I was at the beginning of e-commerce, and everybody was afraid how that's going to affect. What happened is that a lot of retail stores closed, but then a lot of online stores opened, and that opened a lot of new jobs and a lot of new professions. So where are we heading? We are heading into a revolution that's going to change how the world we know today.
So the question, the question itself, you already know the answer, right? So the way we work will be changed fundamentally, right? That's the fact. No one is going to get back on this. So how I see is, we had in 2022, ChatGPT was launched, and now adoption was happening. Then we are implementing now Agentic AI. In the next 10 years, we are looking at only one, like you will have one person on a typical company. You'll have one person, and you will have all the business units will be led by autonomous agents. So if you are a CEO, it's a good part, where you don't need a CTO, you don't need a CFO, and you can offload all those works to the agents, and the agents will run the company for you. That's what I'm looking forward for it. Thank you.
You said 2030?
2030, yeah.
So that's only 5 years. Not much. If history can be a good testament for the future, I think that would be it. While there will be a lot of progression, but it will depend on which continent, which country and company you are at. While we've been working on models for the last 20 years, I have not yet seen many large organizations, and I'm talking about financial institutions, for example, adopting those models the way they have been there. So the first machine learning model came in 1982 by Jim Simon, who started doing trading company called Renaissance Technologies. He just passed away last year, but the company still exists. They employ 90 PhD graduates over there. They work only on mathematician and huge model. I don't think we will be at the speed the way we believe we're going to be there, because there are certain continents who are actually stifling innovation in terms of regulation, unfortunately. We're talking about large countries on those continents. I'm referring to Europe. So different countries, different regions will actually accelerate at a different pace. Of course, its wishes are different than what's going to happen in reality. There will be some progression over there, but it's not the way we dream of, because we're Homo sapiens, and Homo sapiens work at different speeds. And there's a lot need to be done on cultural change.
Excellent, thank you.
I guess I agree with what My Highness is telling here, His Excellence. But I also feel it's a choice that we have, right? Like, I'm not anti-technology. I don't want to sound like one, but I think like we have to really pick the problems where we can actually make an impact. Like education is one, right? Access to medical, facilities, and medicine itself is a big problem. So I think like there will be pockets where we could use technology to accelerate in a meaningful way. And we also have to be very discerning about where we actually use it. I don't see the world where like humans are going to get replaced completely, because humans have a tendency to revolt when they see that. And so I think the pace at which we are moving, I also see the reverse backlash coming, and people's hesitance in using this, and it is going to be in every different pocket. Like, like I agree also that every country, every region is going to see different types of growth in terms of technology acceptance. So that's what I think, and I don't think things are going to change in 5 years. Listen what like people said about drone technology. Drones are going to be everywhere in 2014. And even I thought so. I have a lot of patents on drones. I thought drones are going to be here by 2020 or 2016. And I was so naive. It's still like 2025 and still we don't have it. So there's a lot of things as a society, as a regulatory framework, as basically like, businesses, we have to sort a lot of things. And I don't think we are there yet. We're just like getting caught in the hype cycle.
Great, thank you, Mr. Shekhar and Mr. Farrukh.
Okay. So what will happen in future is like Microsoft laid off 14,000 people, but they will hire again the people, and they will need 2 skills: critical thinking and AI literacy. If you're weak in AI literacy, even if you're strong in AI literacy, but you're weak in critical thinking, it will not work. So it's a human plus AI which will function, and we will see mostly people who will actually able to use it. See, tool doesn't matter. It's the usage of the tool, so they will replace people who are AI literate. And this Gen Z is coming up with this thing. So they will replace a lot of employees because they are born with AI. So they will be learning much faster than the older generation. So if they don't adopt, they will be laid off just like Microsoft and Google, and they will be replaced by AI literate. But I still think the most important skill is the critical thinking. If you don't have that, no matter what powerful tool comes in, you cannot use it correctly. So that's why.